if I were to ask you what your favourite Jacqueline Wilson book is, I would bet money that the answer would not be Cliffhanger. Now, I'm sure there are some people for whom Cliffhanger is the best of her books that they've read, but considering she's written over 100, there are a lot of contenders, and in my personal experience, I don't see too many people referencing Cliffhanger as one that they love. But personally, I really like it, especially when it comes to just the Biscuit Barrel series as a whole. It's one that I find to be quite different to a lot of other books that she's written for numerous reasons, but I think one of the main reasons is that our protagonist is a boy. Tim is going on an adventure holiday, and he is not the candidate for this. He is one of the least athletic people ever. He's obviously very terrified of this action-packed week of non-stop activity. And as he is on this journey, he obviously finds things about himself. He tests his physical strength while also testing his inner strength and inner belief in himself. And he meets some individuals along the way whom he befriends, and they are there to encourage him. There are, of course, some antagonists as well. And I think, if I just had to pick a reason why I think this is maybe not quite as popular as other JW books, it's quite simply because her audience is generally female, and that her protagonists are generally female. Having one that's full of outdoor action-packed adventure with a male protagonist is not usually fitting in with the rest of her books. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but just, generally speaking, I can tell why maybe it wouldn't be as loved as some of the other ones. Most of her protagonists, with the exception of maybe Katie, a couple of others, they're usually quite girly. So once you hook in that audience, any straying from that might have a, not negative effect, but slightly detrimental to readership. But judging it as a book itself, I absolutely love it. I think the character of Tim is very likeable, very easy to get on with, and the setting is brilliant. It's very rare that Jacqueline Wilson sets a contemporary setting away from like the child's home or their family. Having this set on an adventure holiday opens up the scope for so many different scenarios, different characters and personalities. The fact that Tim is getting into all kinds of situations he's not used to allows us as a reader to truly explore him as an individual, and while he learns things about himself, obviously we learn about him too, and we also have time to reflect on how we would feel in certain situations. I'm very much Team Tim. I am not athletic, not sporty. This would be a nightmare for me. But there will be some readers who are very much into adventure weeks and, have a different perspective. So I think depending on where you're coming from, you'll get something different out of this. I have to say Biscuits as well. Biscuits is a character who I absolutely love. I really, really enjoyed him. With this being obviously the second in the Biscuit Barrel series, I think it's a really good way to kind of follow on from Buried Alive, and the other way on, even. You know what I mean. Either way, with two books involving Tim and Biscuits, we get a chance to kind of get to know them in different scenarios and settings. Buried Alive is a lot of fun as well. Cliffhanger, I absolutely love it. The illustrations as well are very prominent in my memory, and I don't know why that is, but there's a particular illustration of Biscuits sitting on a bed, and whenever I think of Nick Sharratt's work, that's one of the things that come to mind. Who knows why? I think it's brilliant for the target age of about 8, 9 up, and reading it as an adult, it's not quite as immersive as some of her other works, but I still thoroughly enjoyed it. It's a lot smaller than say, some of her more recent ones as well. But ultimately, Cliffhanger is one that's quite unique compared to the rest, and one that I will always be very fond of.